Your San Jose Sharks made it look interesting after 2 periods, but then fell apart in the third. What? It's supposed to be the second that happens. We'll talk about all that. Phil Kessel and Matt Niobo looking sharp as cheddar. Oh, boy. Get ready for your holiday sweater jokes. This is Teal Town After Dark. Good evening, everyone. It is October 25th, 2022. The Sharks lose to the Vegas Golden Knights 4-2. Welcome to Teal Town After Dark. This is your live interactive Sharks postgame. So if you want to be part of the show, chat with us and fellow Sharks fans all over the world in Sharks territory on the YouTube page and on the app. Of course, follow us on the social, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reddit, Discord, and of course, TikTok. And you'll find everything at tealtownusa.com. Of course, if you want to support the pod, you can always use a YouTube Superchat or hit us up at Teal Town USA on Venmo. And with that, I say hi and welcome from the Shark Tank. And welcome. It's been a while. Ian Reed, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. I am not at the Shark Tank, unfortunately.
One day we will get you here. I'll make AJ use our stipends to get him down here. Fair enough. All right. Well, it's good to see you. Granted, oh man, you made it interesting. Get out of here, AJ. You made it interesting. They made it interesting throughout this game, but the third period instead of the second period ended up being the one that gets them out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because I thought it was like a pretty good game by the Sharks. Like it seemed like after last game and this one, it kind of felt like they were starting to kind of get things figured out a little bit. James Reimer has been absolutely incredible for them. I think he probably deserved better tonight. But at the end of the day, like you give a team that's offensively talented as Vegas, mistakes that the Sharks made, they're going to make you pay for them. And there's only so much that James Reimer is going to be able to do. And that's the story of this game, was the Sharks made mistakes and Vegas absolutely made them pay for it.
Indeed. I thought they played a great game, especially through 2 periods. It's just that third period really just, Vegas came on with a vengeance. But I thought the first one, Phil Kessel scores his 400th goal to make it 1-0. And again, congratulations for breaking the all-time record from Keith Yandel, 990 consecutive games for that one. I thought that even though they were down 1-0 after one, they played a pretty good period. Granted, they got outshot, but then the second period happened.
Yeah, I mean, again, like this team, we know the score at this team. This team is not good. And I thought they played okay considering the shot differential. In the first period. They've played worse hockey this year. The second period, yeah, they played good. Like they kind of took the game by the throat a little bit. They outshot Vegas heavily through the first half of that second period. And they looked pretty good. Like, again, it seemed like things were starting to finally click for this team. It's just unfortunate mistakes.
Just tough ones. I mean, but I agree with you. I thought they found their game on the road trip and found some interesting pieces. But the one consistent that's been there all year has been Nico Sturm. And his goal to tie it up. And I tweeted it out. It's a little Pavelski in there.
Yeah, I mean, again, the Sharks aren't a flashy team, right? So they're going to have to get goals that are. Thanks, guys. I saw a super chat. Like, here's the thing, right? Like they're gonna have to get like dirty goals, right? Like this team isn't gonna wow you with, end-to-end plays. I mean, they'll get some of those, but most of their goals are going to have to come from just like lunch pail hockey, which is what you get from that Nico Sturm line. I really like the addition of Nico Sturm. Like of all the additions, that was the one that really stood out to me as one that I really liked
Yeah.
in the off season, and it's paid dividends so far. I think it was a nice shot by Svechnikov again. Another guy who I didn't think much of when they brought him in, but those guys have had some chemistry. And it's nice when you can get offense from, like, because this is the scoring that the Sharks didn't have last year. Now the problem is the problem is this year is that the top guys can't score. So
Yeah.
it's like it's one or the other, right? The Sharks can never have both things working out for them.
It's tough. I mean, you feel fortunate and thank God for the fourth line, or they kind of moved up to the third line a little bit there, that they've been able to produce the scoring, because my goodness, I mean, you talk about Hurdle's only had that one goal in Prague and hasn't scored anything since. Timo, at one time they showed up on the screen. I think he finished with 18, at the time they showed up 16 shot attempts. You know, I hate to use a pun there, but it seems like he had more shots than CVS at a ready for for the vaccine.
Yeah.
So it's very frustrating indeed to see this team go through the struggles here. And I saw in the chat, you're paying Hurdle and Couture, $16 million, and it's still frustration in things. And a lot of people were saying, simplify it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what else you really do.
I think, look, at Hurdle's going to get on track. Couture, I'm a little more worried about. Timo Meier tonight, I thought, did everything but score.
Yeah.
Like, I really was impressed with Timo Meier's game. Maybe tried to do a little too much as it went on. Like, you can tell he's frustrated that he's not on the score sheet yet. And I think he really, and I think maybe he tried to force a few things tonight, but I thought Timo Meier was all over the place, and I thought it was a great game for him. So I don't really have much negative to say about Timo Meier. I think Hurdle, it's gonna happen. They're gonna break through at some point. It's hard, right? Because here's the thing with the Sharks is they're not a great team. Through most of the first period and latter stages of the third, up until Vegas had it well in hand.
Yeah.
They're not really getting a lot of offensive time, and I think that when you're not able to carry the play, it makes you have to wait for opportunities, like kind of how the Golden Knights scored tonight in their last two goals, right? Where you take advantage of an opportunity, go in, and even Matt Nieto, the goal Matt Nieto scored, kind of the same thing, right? Just like an opportunistic breakaway, and he goes, and it's a one and done play. Either you score or you don't. And I feel like with Hurdle, it's going to work out. Couture befuddles me. I don't know what's wrong with Couture. Maybe is it just like, I don't know.
Do you attempt to overload the top line at this point just to see if you can get these guys going? Put Couture in there. I mean, yeah, they're all three lefties, but
I mean, I don't know, because again, like, I really like the Hurdle, Barabanov, Meier line. If you put all those guys on that top line, like, what are you gonna, like, you have three lines that aren't very good then? Because I don't think like Barabanov's he's a good complementary piece, but it's not like you can drop Barabanov to the second line and that makes second line a great line without and who's going to play center on that second line too?
Exactly. I mean, that's the tough part with that. Do want to mention the Abism 0 super chat donation. I know you saw it earlier. Get Ian to the tank fund, but maybe wait till Bedard is playing for the Sharks. But yeah, I just think it's. I think you feel like they improved on the road trip. They're right there in regards to having the pieces come together. It just is frustrating to get them to execute.
Yes. But here's the thing, right? Like, this team isn't greater than the sum of its parts. So I think, yeah, like you've seen them, you saw stretches of hockey where I thought they they at least looked like they were competing. The problem is though, is like this is still a team that, if the opposition scores 3 or more goals, and I don't want to be like this 2 or fewer nonsense, but like, and I hate to, and I hate to say that, but like this team isn't going to win games where they have to score 3, 4, 5 goals to win them.
Yeah.
Like they're not built for that. And I don't care how hard they are to play. If the other team can find 4 or 5 goals, like, well, 4 or 5 goals should win. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
if the other team's going to score 3 or 4 goals, like that's bad news for the Sharks.
Yeah. And again, it's not like you blame James Reimer for that.
No, I thought James Reimer has given this team everything that they could ask for from a goalie. Like, yeah, I mean, the one goal where he didn't really get set, unfortunately, the
Right.
second one, I want to say he didn't get that, the one where he didn't get set. Like, that sucks, right? And then, but I don't really fault him for any of the goals tonight.
No. I thought he played fairly well. 27 on 31. With a 871 save percentage. It just it's frustrating because he's been an exceptional player, and he's just upping his trade value. It seems like every game he plays.
Yeah.
So you can't do that. You can't really blame Kaapo Kähkönen on some of his games. He's played fairly well. He just hasn't been able to shut it down.
Yeah, I think Reimer's been the more consistent of the two. I
Right.
can't remember what game it was, but there was one game where I didn't think. I don't know, when was the last time I was on? Because I think that was last time Kähkönen played a game that I didn't think he had a particularly good night. And I don't think Kähkönen played a pretty good night. Reimer's been the more consistent of the two, which is concerning, right? Because like this whole mantra for the team right now is like you have to earn everything, right? So like Kaapo Kähkönen's the guy that they want to be the guy.
Right.
And James Reimer is making it very difficult for Kaapo Kähkönen to be the guy.
Yeah, and that's it's frustrating for sure. And it's like, oh man, again, you feel like you're on the cusp of it all.
Yeah.
So, and it's tough. It's tough to accept it and take it, and it's I guess we should expect pain this season.
Yeah, like absolutely,
like,
right? Like, and here's the thing, like I understand like Team Tank, right? Like at the end of the day, like they lost, and that's great because it's they lost in regulation, no more points. But like again, I've said this a lot, right? Like
right.
The draft's in May. There's still a lot of hockey between now and then. Like I understand that, like, I understand Team Tank and I endorse Team Tank. Like I'm there, but at the same time, like, would it have been nice to watch them beat the Golden Knights tonight? Yeah, I can still be happy when that happens, right?
Yeah.
I mean, again, like I don't watch the team to watch them lose.
Right.
If they lose, like that's fine. And at the end of the day, like it'll be very fine if everything works their way in the spring. But again, like the snow hasn't fallen yet. Well, I mean, the snow's never going to fall there, but up here,
don't we wish? We'll take any precipitation we can get right now, please.
Yeah, fair enough. Like the snow hasn't even fallen yet. Like we got a long way to go to get there.
Yeah, I mean, we got a bit to go there, so we're hanging in there. Oh yeah, my dear. Sorry, I thought they were taking my water that I forgot to bring over here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's a tough one, but they played well. Yeah, that's mine, along with that water. Sorry, they're cleaning up. Thank you. Oh yeah, thank you.
How many waters do you have?
There's a couple of them over here. The reason I should let you all know, reason why I'm here at the tank tonight is they invited us to a food and beverage preview like they've done in the years past. So we got to test out everything. The poutine from Augie's. I mean, we've talked about this many times before. Unreal. Ian, when we get you to this game, you're going to think this poutine is just unreal. We imported it from Montreal. Thank you, my dear.
Okay.
So, So the Sharks lose this one in the third period. Theodore ties it. Early on.
Yeah.
And and then you get the two like in a minute 2 seconds for Vegas, and it's the second period kind of happened in the third.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Erik Karlsson giveth, Erik Karlsson taketh away. Like, it wasn't obviously not a great play for him to let them to let William Karlsson fly in like that. But like, it's hard, right? Because I had people in my mentions being like, "Oh my God, why is Erik Karlsson playing 5 minutes? Like, he's gonna break." Well, yeah, he might. But here's the problem: like, who else are you gonna put in that situation, looking for a goal, right? Like Erik Karlsson is the only guy that you can put in that situation now. Like, you put Matt Benning there, Radim Šimić. Like, come on, like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously, like, look at, do I want to see Erik Karlsson taking 5 minutes shifts? No. But do I acknowledge that? What else are they going to do in that situation? No, there's not a whole lot else they can do.
Yeah, I mean, this is where the word Brent Burns leaving for Carolina comes into play a little bit. You don't have the combination of that and such, but that's something to I would say Ted Ramey and Ted, I know you're listening to this, so thanks for listening. But your best players need to be your best players.
Yeah, like Logan Couture cannot get beat like he got beat onto that, like, by Mark Stone there. Like, that was frustrating to watch.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, right? Like, I was it a long shift or something? But I feel like that can't happen. And Logan Couture is your captain, right? And I know there's a lot of people out there right now saying like, "Oh my God, you've got to pull the C off Logan Couture. Can't do it fast enough." But like, I think you can't do that because you could, but I don't think you purposely add dysfunction to a dysfunctional situation. But like, that's you got to lead by example, and I don't think Couture should have gotten beaten like that.
Yeah. That's the tough part, and that's the thing, is that you want to see the effort and everything. You saw that great play by Dylan Larkin against LA.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of want to see that, and it's tough getting beat like that. But I'm not saying that it's an effort thing. It's just frustrating to see.
Yeah, and like, again, I don't know. I mean, it sucks because I don't think Adin Hill's a particularly good goalie. And I think, like, I think it was Ben from Circling the Cup. Just like, you just have to get pucks on him and let nature take its course.
Yeah, and Marty T asking, did Hill play well, or did they consistently shoot into his chest?
Everyone but Nieto. Like, the Nieto goal, like, was a perfect, like, the Nieto goal, and I don't know if it was just the angle that the shot came from, but I'm like, where is your glove hand before the shot? Like, I could not see his glove hand until after Nieto took the shot, and then the glove hand came up, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, this is not a good goalie.
Yeah. Puck Mom saying Ian needs to visit the tank. She's also asking, the poutine and only good you tried? No, there are the barbecue steak nachos, the burrito with tater tots in it. It was unreal. The cheesesteaks I didn't get to try, but that looked absolutely amazing on there for that. So yeah, come to the Shark Tank, please. Let's get this filled. About 12,000 they announced as attendance. Definitely didn't seem 12K, but I feel tough. It's tough for the schedule. You play in Europe the first week, then you get a week off, play 2 back-to-backs, and those were great crowds, and then you go back out on the road. And meantime, the Warriors have played
like Tuesday nights is always going to be a tough sell. I think there's I don't know. I mean, like, look, this team isn't very good. It's going to be hard to get people out in numbers to watch this team, I think.
Yeah. Especially against a rival team that's been doing well.
I think from that aspect you would see, but like, I hate the Golden Knights, dude. I don't want to watch the Sharks fucking lose to the Golden Knights. Like, it would have been like I would have been ecstatic if the Sharks were somehow able to pull this one out, man. Because like again, it's like, yeah, the draft is nice, but I have to watch the game today.
Right. It's.
You guys had an earthquake today?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't hear about that? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. 5.1 on the Richter scale.
Ooh,
And then we've had about 11 aftershocks.
Oh God.
And it's about, I would say, about southeast of San Jose. And, when AJ was here at the game, I asked him because he lives in a fourth floor, and he's like, "Yep, we were shaking pretty good." But thankfully, no damage whatsoever, which is absolutely
That's
unreal
good, yeah.
to hear.
That's good. Yeah, I remember like when I lived in California, I think the strongest earthquake I felt was like 4, and like no, none. I wanted none of it. Like the one thing that I will never miss about California, and there's lots of things to miss about living in California, but the one thing I will never miss is earthquakes, man. Earthquakes, you can have them.
Yeah, and I love the interaction between the San Jose Earthquakes Twitter with the Sharks Twitter through the night. That was pretty hilarious on that. But yeah, thankfully nothing going on. This building can withstand a 9.0 apparently, and of course when you talk earthquakes and the Sharks, I'll go back to 2002 when they were playing the Avalanche in a playoff game, and this building shook, and it was crazy. So, kind of going through the chat here. Let's see here. Couture has a better glove hand than Aiden Hill.
He does. Yeah, he did.
Yes.
For all the crap talk on Logan Couture, that was a really nice glove save that he made there. I was like, did I see that right? I put out Twitter like, did I see that right? Logan Couture with the. I also like that when the Golden Knights scored, the horn guy woke up and was like, oh, goal, crap.
Yeah. That didn't go off too well in the audience here for sure. It's like, what are you doing? Premature hornage. No. We wish that we were tying the game up, not 4-2, getting Jesse Littlefield, a 5.1 does no damage. Yeah, pretty good. Alex Beltran, I worked at SCC when the 6.4 hit about a decade ago. Yeah, that was those are crazy. I'll never forget 89 since we're in October. That one was a pretty good one.
I remember. Oh my God, so I was been, 89, so I would have been like 9. I remember that. Like, I remember the news footage from that vividly to this day. Like, just, yeah.
Yeah,
I was nowhere near there, obviously. Like, I was 9, so I was here. But I remember the news footage from that vividly.
Yeah, it was unreal and insane. So glad everybody was okay today. I mean, nothing big, nothing massive over here. So for that.
Well, I'm glad everyone's safe.
Yeah. So be careful. There's always the aftershocks that are coming. So let's hope everything is okay, and hope that wasn't a foreshock. And getting quotes from Sheng Peng Sheng, of course. Thank you very much. Quinn on Carlson's gaff, quote, he just has to absorb the rush. Hurdle summarizes his feelings about this game, and he used the word shitty and sucks a lot.
Yeah, I mean, look at like the Sharks. I think there was parts of this game that I think they should be proud of, but like again, like it's a 60-minute game, right? Like you can't just pat yourself on the back for a couple of periods and then have things kind of go off the rails the way they did. So I think it does suck. I think I don't want to say they snatched, they snatched defeat out of the jaws of victory, but because they never had a lead, but they played good enough to win this game until they didn't, right?
Yeah, and if you're going to take small positives out of this season, which we're probably going to end up having to do, you take a look at that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one indeed. So, hey, it's not like it gets any worse for the Sharks. It's only Toronto coming to town on Thursday.
They're pretty banged up though, so it'll be
Oh,
interesting to see. I think they put I think Jake Muzzin went to the
yep.
LTIR and
And Matt
Kyle
Murray's
Clifford went to
out,
the IR
and
and Matt Murray. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. But that's it. Like that's a very that team still has a lot of weapons. So I think the Sharks are going to be in tough there for sure.
yeah, it's going to be a tough one, and it doesn't get any better after that. Tampa on
Yeah.
Saturday. You
No.
could,
Well, Tampa and Tampa's going to be in a foul mood because they're not doing very well right now,
right.
and they just got spanked by LA, so they're going to be in a foul mood.
Oh boy, I didn't want to hear that. Wow, LA beat them up, huh? Yikes! But hey, good news. Barracuda 4-0.
Yeah,
Love to
play
see it.
tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, they play against Ontario tomorrow at TXCU Arena.
Hmm.
So that be out. We're gonna look out for that. I know they have. It's a weird double header on Saturday. Sharks play at 1:30, and then right as the game is ending here, the Barracuda start at 4, which is tough to if you're making it into both ones. So you know,
Yeah.
yeah, it's frustrating, but you know what? You kind of expect this team to have these ways, but again, I'm kind of encouraged that they've played well at least through 2 periods, but you definitely need that 60-minute effort.
Yeah, I mean this team can't. This team isn't good enough to cruise. Like this team again, it's got to be lunch pail hockey, or or the wins aren't going to come. And even I think even against some teams, they could probably give it a really solid effort and still lose. So, yeah, again, this team cannot hit the cruise control. Like this team has to play solid 60-minute games to just be competitive. Forget win, just be competitive.
Yeah, be competitive. Don't make it ugly. We saw that
Mhm.
91 and 92 and 93.
Yep.
So I think that'll do it for us here. Quick little show. We kind of have to get out of here to vacate the premises here. But in case you missed anything or you want to catch us up again, you can see us on Teal Town USA on YouTube. Hit that like, subscribe, and bell button to notify you when we go on the air following each and every game. Of course, you can find us on audio. Find us wherever you get our podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Odyssey, and of course, always available at tealtownusa.com. So, with that, Ian, final thoughts and on this night and where the people can find you and give hope for
You can
Thursday.
find me at Ian Blogs Hockey. I will be on the Teal Town account tomorrow during the Barracuda game, so be sure to follow at Teal Town USA if you want some Barracuda gift goals, gift goals. I don't know, whatever, man, whatever
Either way, that
stuff. If
works.
you want stuff some stuff from the Barracuda game, actually, it's at TXCU, so you should actually go.
You should go, and then when you want to relive the moment, you have it on the Teal
You
Town
can,
USA
yeah,
Twitter.
yeah.
So he's at Ian Blogs Hockey on the Twitter machine. I'm at Puckguy14 on the Twitter, the Instagram. My final thought is thank you, Sharks, for inviting us to chow down on some food and some beverages. They are delicious. Appreciate it. Of course, it always helps when they're free. As for the Sharks themselves, you got to find a way. You're getting there, but you need to keep going in this case. And San Ramon native Austin Matthews comes to town. So always nice to have that. You'll be seeing that on my Twitter for sure. And Steve Dangle, if you're watching, let's talk. All right. And until then, thank you for watching. We'll be back with you Thursday following Sharks and Maple Leafs here. I think it's you and Landy.
Me and Landy, yep.
All righty. So be on the lookout for that. Of course, always hit that subscribe button on here. So until Thursday night, keep it real, keep it teal. Keep it real, Teal. Have a great night, everyone. We will see you Thursday following Sharks and Maple Leafs. Where's my intro? Damn it. Or my intro.